Good morning, Steve Zonarder here with Treviso Realty. Quick update on the current market. Current inventory, 18,465 units, so down about 100 since last week. 312 sold in the last 7 days, so sales a little bit shrank a bit, but again, inventory still dropping out, which is fantastic. Move this to Estero, we're at 682 units available on the current market. That's down from 700, so that's a good little drop off. And then 14 sales or closings rather in the last 7 days, so still pretty damn decent. We put up a listing over the weekend. We're ready to get showings, which is fantastic. Again, pricing them correctly is the right place to do. It's the only way to do it. If you price it correctly, you're going to get them sold, especially if they're good units. We have another unit in Naples right now. Similar product. It's a villa, but ultimately, when you get a little bit priced high, we've been on the market for 10 days and no showing, so there's always an issue with pricing. And this one, we just came out of the box in Fort Myers and already got a showing booked. So it goes to show you that pricing's always going to mean the end product's going to sell and our clients get able to cash out. So we'll have to look at one of these listings now and kind of see about price, because initially when we sign listings now, we sign price adjustment forms at the same time. So you want to list at a certain price, then we wouldn't need to be at my price, but we sign everything at the same time. So 2 weeks at your price, and then we move on to what's appropriate for the market and what's going to get sold. Because again, we want to make sure we get our clients the most money possible, and again, we don't want to make sure there's no money left on the table. And if our clients feel that they want to just put it up just a bit, kind of see what's happens, and then ultimately it doesn't sell, then we can adjust it down to our price, so no damage done. But again, it needs to be done quite quickly within 2 weeks, because what happens is the longer you wait, you got more sellers having opportunities to list, and then when you got more inventory and you got other sellers to be ahead of you, and they'll set the margin and the price of your property. Because let's just say if one property is inherited and they just want to blow it out and cash out because the kids don't want any responsibility with it, they might really undervalue it. You get 2 or 3 of those ahead of you, and now you got a new market value price for your property, because it's going to be hard to negotiate with the buyer saying, well, those were fire sales and we want X for our property because it's not a fire sale. Well, doesn't really matter. A set record is a set record, and that's where your current market's going to be price-wise. So that's pretty much with that. Interesting, look at this. We're looking at this market that it's on fire. We've been on a tear too. We did a few more deals over the weekend in Verdana, which is great. Villa, and then there's a Trevi with a pool. Insane deals. Like, these deals don't even make sense. And even our clients flew in from the Midwest, and just to take a look at, to make sure that that's the best community, Verdana Village, and we kind of looked at 600K with a pool. 600,000, 2,200 square feet with a pool down the corkscrew, and there's like 3 properties a show, because some of the communities are 55 plus. 3 properties a show. All the communities that we showed are basically, you got to look at their age. If you get to Bellaterra, which is the location's fantastic, it's close to 75, 41, like it's obviously very central, but then the community is dated when you get into the houses, the design of the houses. If you look at the pavers on the driveway, they're gonna be like, it looks like 90s. We call them interlock, or like the pavers. They're like herringbone, but they're very small. The way the designs are, it's very 90-ish style, and the closets don't go to the ceiling. They're like half, they build like an 8-foot stud, and then they just box off the top, and it's just some of these things like that. So you need to jump in about $100,000 into a minimum to get it up to today's standards. And then they don't have impact glass, so let's say another 20, 30,000 there. Your roof life cycle is probably 10 years away from a new roof. That could be $50,000. So you kind of add this all together. Yeah, you're getting a better location, but are you prepared? Are you in love with that area totally and prepared to spend this extra money going forward to be in that area? So that's something you need to consider. So we looked at 2 communities on the corkscrew. The place, which is obviously amazing. Really nice nice community, clearly, resort style amenity center, really, really nice. But then you kind of weigh the options with Verdana Village, and you kind of look at our amenities. They're all brand new. We have a much larger campus than them, let's call it, and strategic location right in the center, right next to Publix. You kind of look at all these add-ons to the community. We are the better community still, and a better price, to be honest, and lower amenity costs, HOA costs. Then we brought them across, so on the other side of the RSW airport into Fort Myers, so that's like off of Daniels. 82 area, and you went to the Forum, and then also Timber Creek. So Timber Creek, you got to remember, it's a great community. We have a lot of clients moved in there, but you need to be aware as well as the airport's right there. So if you look at the airport traffic, they're going to be flying over Lehigh. If you've ever, obviously most of fly in, so you'll kind of go over Lehigh. So there's that, I believe that's a northwest, northwest coming in. So, but at the same time, you see the landing, you hear the landing, and then they kind of fly out into the Gulf. So they land coming over Lehigh, then they depart over the Gulf. But I mean, ultimately, a lot of noise in that community. New community, probably, I think, second best to Verdana Village based on its amenities. Everything's new. Community is really nice. It's got a lot of young families in there as well. At times when clients couldn't afford to be in Verdana Village, we moved into Timber Creek because it was the best option, second best option compared to Verdana Village. Then we went to the Forum. Not the Forum, we went to Arborwood, which is basically Timber Creek community prior. It's like Timber Creek 1, basically. So they have this nice community, colonnaded, amenity center. If you get to the amenities, it's like all like archways and columns, really, really pretty. But then you look at the pool's very small. And you got to think the house we looked at was built in 2021, and you got to look at the community 5 to 7 years prior to that it was being built. So this is probably like a 2015, 2016 community. So things are starting to age as well. Strategic location for Fort Myers for sure, really nice spot. But at the end, the best value was in Verdana, so the clients end up signing the contract and finishing that off because it was contingent. We did a deal prior to them coming out, and it was contingent upon them viewing the property, and we wanted to make sure that they're making the right decision. So I spent the Saturday with them, kind of gone around, which is great. And again, signed the contract in Verdana Village. I tried to sell anything else, but it's impossible. It's too much value in Verdana, to be honest. And oh, look at this. We're expecting 2 to 3 rate cuts this year. At the that's what everyone's predicting. All the big hedge fund managers and big banks. This is important too. This is the 10-year yield chart. This is how basically you're going to get your mortgage. It's based off of this. So every time I talk to Joe, and it's like the yield. It's just like, so I had to get used to this yield. So if you kind of look at, we're down to 4% right now. So last time we saw this was in April of 20. Well, it was 4.1%, like in April of this year, and then we saw that basically in. Oh, here it is, April, like one day, you know what I mean? One day, then it just jumped right up. And I think this is probably on the weekend. They kind of jip us off, or we can block things on the weekend. And prior to that, that was going to be in 2024, and I think that was October. Let's see. Yeah, so around here. So if you look in October, this is the last, October 2024 was the last time we've seen this 4% rate. But the difference is, it's low, and it gets high, right? 4.4%. Then you get a little bit of a drop, and then it's high. This is obviously the previous administration, the Biden administration. Trump gets into power right now, the Jan 20th. We're at 4.6% 10-year yield. Then we start getting a little bit of a drop off because they know this is how you get a market moving, and a little bit up and a little bit down. You kind of see this rotation of up and downs. But look at where we're heading. This is important because we're going in a downward trend, and now we're down to 4% as of this morning. So this thing needs to get down like 3.25 would be great, even 3% flat, and then we're going to see some really great rates here in America. So that'll respool the market back up. And reality is, I always say this, if you're a naturalized citizen, you're in a secondary property, you're still like at 6.3 to 6.8% right now because there is as the yields come down. It's very expensive mortgage rate, let's face it. So when the market's still on fire, there's a ton of properties getting bought up, and it's not all paid in cash. Like we get maybe 3 to 4 clients a year that pay in cash. A lot of the times it's obviously a conventional loan or a DSCR loan. So they're buying these properties because they see the value. So once these rates drop off, all the buyers that has been sitting on the fence are going to come out and buy up everything. And to be honest, again, from practice on Saturday, I like to do this with clients. $600K below with a pool on the corkscrew, impossible to find an amazing product unless you're looking in Verdana Village. Soon to Kingston will obviously be there, but again, that's really far down east on the corkscrew as well. So that's pretty much it for today's Today's Mondays with Steve. If you have any questions on real estate, you can always give me a call direct, 239-672-0616.